Okay. Um, First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. It's been a while since I've started these uh, videos with thanking God, because at this point, the way things have come to me, reality has been so strong that as much as they try to create these nasty manipulations, it's just like humiliation. They can't even rely on what they manipulate, because reality is just so real, in a sense that what they truly are has been exposed in the proper way, not these manipulative ways, not these ways they can create thoughts and manipulate you to experience things. Matter of fact, 2 seconds ago, as I was making this video, I took a screenshot of a friend of mine, which I made a video about, who is a friend of mine that I known for a long time on Instagram, like before we went to like same schools, and now she's all obviously she's my age, she has children, and for Christmas picture on her Instagram, she has like her two young kids. One is like a maybe an 8-year old, the other one is like a few months old baby, and she's a baby girl. It's very adorable, big cheeks, typical beautiful little girl, very adorable, fat little baby. And they of course they did nastiness, and so because I have this on my phone, because I make videos about what they do to me, they started like making me have thoughts that's just so manipulated. But let me just start off with this. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for giving me the chance to see what I needed to see before whatever horribleness is going to happen to me. And I understand why this horrible thing is going to happen to me. It's going to happen to me because these people who, well, it was horrible thing happened to me because I was put in this program where we're human subject are test subjects. We're used as human subjects to develop technology, and this technology is coming from the Department of Defense. And this Department of Defense and this intelligence community, who you can see there's expertise from the CIA, but you know that the technology is coming from the DoD, and you know the resources are coming from the DoD, have had issues that are so disturbing and clear and obvious that it's an issue that's been ongoing and that's keep coming back over and over as a reminder that these entities have had these terrible, nasty issues and they're still ongoing. And these people who utilize this technology to develop this technology and using you and utilizing this defense technology onto you have used these tactics of trying to make you believe you're something you're not. But this not thing that you are not is coming from people who actually are these things. And it's been very clear as it gets. Not only because articles has exposed these issues to be ongoing, not only because there's a director of like cyber, basically DSS is like the cyber security of the DoD, exposing how shocked he was about how nasty some of these employees are. A lot of in what he was seeing and the quantity of what he was seeing, the shocked about how much child porn he was seeing on this employee's computer. This BuzzFeed article showing that there's a bunch of pedophiles in the CIA agencies, and very little is done to them. Very, very, very little. The worst case scenario, it was this. There was one that was in basically in what they show is not everything. You gotta understand this very limited amount of information. This is the CIA. This is the intelligence community. You know that every information they provide is outdated information. It's things that they know they don't want to be compromised. So you know they're not going to show everything, because I'm sure there's so much more compromisable things that they will not want to show because of perhaps quote unquote security purposes. But let's just say that we know that CIA agencies have not been known to be transparent. So if they show that, it's because it's okay. Who knows how much is not being shown. But you, based on what you see, you understand there's a problem, and this problem keep coming back. There was a case where the man was doing something to a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, a CIA agent. What happened to him? And I remember they were even bragging about that. They would be, like, make it sound like that was like some big deal. They were like, "Oh, we fired him. He was fired. He was molesting a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was doing something sexual to 2-year-old and 6-year-old, and all that happened to him. He actually, like, this is not even. Those were the things they were saying that he did. And all that happened to this man, all, was he just got fired. Nothing, no prosecution, no nothing. These people are aware of these accusations. Nothing. And they're like, "Oh, he got fired," as if like, wow, a man that was doing something to a 2-year-old and 6-year-old, and these entities knew about it, got fired. Wow. Oh my gosh, children are gonna be so safe now. Like, that was the kind of mentality. And then it got even worse because he's just, like, when you dig deeper about like Operation Flicker, which is an operation that happened like in the early 2000s, actually late 2000s, where they found a bunch of people working in the Pentagon subscribing to child porn from like Belarus or like Ukraine, and they were like paying X amount of money by month, and there was a lot of people from the DOD involved in that. I mean, subscribing into that, and NSAs and all kind of nastiness. And then this shit come back again in 2018, where apparently they were ranked by the online child protective services as top tier in regard of child porn. No, in regard of sharing child porn. They were sharing some of the most child porn that they would rank top tier in the United States using Department of Defense networking. Now you hear all this nastiness, and you have these people working for those entities as employee or contracted trash to implement these tactics that are meant to develop this technology that does so much to you. Yes, I also get the gang stalking. I'm a target individual with gang stalking, but the truth is, at this point, it doesn't even matter. Gang stalking is nothing in comparison to the technology that is implemented onto you. This technology destroys your body, do horrible things to your body and your and everything. You're destroyed. Your body is completely destroyed, and your brain is hooked to this device that can do so much manipulation, and thought manipulation, and memory manipulations, and perception manipulation, and libido manipulations, and control a lot of what you can experience. It basically makes them believe that they're gods, but the truth is, you're almost like a puppet. That's how controllable and this technology has able to do. They do so much nastiness, and it's very disturbing the way they use this technology to break you down, which is part of this handbook tactics of breaking you down. It's not only happening to me, it's happening to so many other people. They torture women, men, and the most disgusting part, they torture children the same way they torture adults. Mentally, physically, and the physical torture consists of sexual torture too. It is so disgusting. And obviously, they look at it, the truth is they're doing it because of the purpose of improving this technology. Now, what's happening is then this program consists of contracting civilians, right, neighbors and people around, where they create this like facade of a reality, a psyop, where they make it believe that you are this threat to children, to women, you are this, like you are this person that you're not. And they do everything possible to make you acceptable and acceptive of this manipulation as if you are experiencing it naturally. They have these perps that act accordingly. They have these gimmicks and ways of trying to get you to accept these things. In my case, it's so disgusting. They will make you experience these disgusting things, and they're like, no, you know what? We actually analyze this. It feels exactly like you feel like that. So, we're matching these things together. When the truth is, what they're doing is to see how they can tweak things around to improve the manipulation, to make it feel more organic. If it feels too fake, they tweak things around to change the manipulation to make it feel more and more real. This is what this is about. It's not about trying to figure who you are. This is way past that, way past that. It's about changing who you are and make you acceptive in this manipulation of who you are. That is their job. This is a mind control, a behavior control, a manipulation control program. Is about being gods, like they said, to be able to get you to believe something that you know is falsified. And they say whatever they need to say. It's like, no, we minded. No, you are manipulating me to experience these things. And they truly use different tonalities. Yeah, no, we minded. First of all, these people are coming from entities with so much problem with pedophilia. Second of all, you know yourself. If your brain needs to be manipulated and things needs to be rewired around, but your response is like, no, but you experienced it, like you feel like we saw this something that you felt like that. So you're changing things around, but you're saying the things they're changing around was there, but you're getting those things and then putting them there. And so you're playing my brain around to get me to experience something that I would not experience if I was naturally being me, if I was not being minded, if I was not being mapped. So it's obvious that you're manipulating me, and I understand what this program is about. It's about control of the mind. MK Ultra was the CIA program, and their job was, how can we manipulate people? This is just a version of MK Ultra to another level that is extremely super advanced with technology from DoD, DARPA, and resources from them, while using this CIA expertise. And day in and day out, they are literally conditioning your brain in this pedophilia way, training your brain. You can feel it rewired you. And they have this piece of shit that are contracted bottom fears that use these repetitive things that sounds like, like when you try to brainwash somebody, like how you imagine how brainwashing will be, like the repetition of things. You are, it's you, reminded, it's you, like typical things to like make somebody believe something is not consistently, like if I put a headphones and somebody said the same thing a million times, showing that there is obviously a clear tactic of trying to make you acceptive of these manipulations, and it's ongoing consistently, and you understand this, and you can even see the way these people are interacting with you, because you have V2K. For me, I have V2K. V2K means that they can use their voices, interact with you remotely. And you can even hear when they interact with you, how they're trying to sound more convincing. How they create this persona when they interact with you. I've even seen them in their, like, there's one, you see them sometime in person, because you can see them talk and it gets to your brain. I was like, how did they? But you see their faces, like even their faces changes like into like this like persona they create, and they're like, you're gonna die. It's like they're like children. Like, oh my gosh, they look like children. It's like a child that's like acting like in a movie. Not even acting, like she's seen that in the movie, and she knows that like that's how like fierce people sound, and they're supposed to be mysticful and mysterious. And you see them just face changes, like you're gonna die, you're gonna, and they make their voice like. I wish I could show my face, because they're like, it's you. You're gonna die. And you look at them, it's like, oh my goodness, this is the kind of shit that interacting with me via V2K. I remember being at work, and wherever you're gonna be, they're gonna be there. And for me to use very young individual, this is a coworker. I think she's in the mid-20s, and she's walking. I know she's a perp, and I'm looking at her. She turns around, and she does this thing in her face. I'm gonna die. And then you scream, and then she goes back. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, this is the people they use. They're like children. They literally sound like, it's like they are like creating a persona, like they're in a movie. Now I understand what's going to happen to me. It's going to be horrible because I'm a target individual. I'm achieving something in this program, but these are the kind of people who kind of create this fantasy. They literally use childlike-minded people who can create a fantasy, a bubble of reality that's so falsified. And they fill these people in to create this diluted reality that sounds more and more falsified. I heard some trash coming out and threw something in the trash. It's like, now we are banned. Just like, trash, you in a program that is literally suffocating 7-year-old kids. Can you imagine somebody involved in that? It's like, nah, like, imagine me. I'm in a program that is involved in the torture of babies. And I'm in this program. Listen, here's the things they use to vilify me. In a lot of the testimony, you're going to hear that target individuals are vilified. Whatever they can use to vilify, they're going to use that and then pretend like they're doing it for that. The thing is, sometimes it's some of the most vulnerable, like this woman called Lisa Baker. She literally, in her testimony, she was at the bioethics 2011 committee, and she spoke. And she's like, I've been tortured for years. They've been vilifying me, isolating me. And I'm like, that's what they do. Other women, some of them are children. They're like, in the community, they say things about me. So they vilify people. And so they look for what they can say, and then like, oh, you're going to die for that, you're going to pay for that. Now for me, what they do, in my brain, well, not in my brain, but what they bring up the thing I did when I was a child, right? This technology has the ability to go into your brain, and they look for whatever they can use to use that against you. And even when they manipulate you, sometimes they're like, oh no, that's because you see, remember what you did as a kid, that's what we mapped it to that. And you're like, I'm a grown man. What do you mean you mapped it to me as a child? And that's why they use these childlike individuals who have no shame, like, you're going to die for me. So they're involved in these things. And for me, they brought up me as a kid. Something I completely forgot. The second as a kid I did whatever I did, it just disappeared out of my brain. Because what I did as a child, it was an impulsive thing a kid do. It's such a impulse moment that never happened ever again, and so it never stayed in my brain. You know, when children do something that is just like so insignificant that it never stayed in their brain. That's what happened. But to them, because they're looking for what they can do to create this vilification, and they're like, oh, what you did as a kid. A middle school, 8th grader who did something to himself. You know, kids at that age can do these kind of things. They're going to try to use that as like, no, what you did. And having to exaggerate. They got to the point where they talk about you molested her. Then it's okay, that's a little too much. You use her mouth, which is also too much. You raped it, that's also too much. So it's like, oh, she used her hand. Try to create as like BS. No, you know what? Not only you use her hand, but you wash your hand after, like something nasty. Diluted trash. And so they'd be like, no, you traumatized her and everything. No, she doesn't even remember me. You know how nasty it got? Last night they started creating these stories. Because not too long ago, I sent a message to this girl, right? And we're all adults. And I'm like, hey, I hope you're doing well. I just want to check on you. And the reason why I sent that message is, of course, I know she doesn't even think of me and she doesn't even know me. But I know this bottom feeder wants to create this fantasy that I damaged her psychologically and ruined her. Like, they're delusional trash. They project reality because what they do is they torture children in ways that you can't comprehend. They sexually torture children using defense technology. What I did is a dumb thing that I did to myself as a kid. They harmed them sexually. They utilize this defense technology that can molest you, sexually torture you, harm you sexually. And they've done that to kids and more. Suffocations, blinding them, teeth decaying, organs, like things that making them sick. And it's just been nasty. because these people damage these children psychologically and physically. And so for me, they bring up these fantasies, and to the point where to embarrass them, I'm talking to somebody that doesn't even know me. I say, hey, checking on you, hope you're doing well, because I know this piece of shits want to pretend like doing it for her. Involved in this program, doing these things to children, this trash. Matter of fact, they're so delusional that they even come up, they have the ability to implant narrations in your thoughts, to start thinking in different fashion. This now young woman in mid to late 20s, her father, I see him not like later on. I'm myself also an adult. He comes smiling. He's this kind of guy, like funny kind of guy. He's always like jokester kind of guy, and very much into women. Very much like it's an issue. He comes in. He sees me. Last time I saw him too I was in high school, and he was always like kind of making fun of me. It's like he kind of because I was kind of like quiet and shy, and he's the opposite of that. He's like a very outgoing person, and to him, seeing somebody shy is like, oh, that's kind of like you gotta be like more, excited, like. And so I see him, and he's like, hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? And he said, good. So how's everybody? Has it's like, yeah, good. Like these people he's talking about his kids. Yeah, they barely remember. I tried to talk to him. Like she said, the older the boy remembers you a little bit, because you remember playing the video games, but the video games, but my daughter don't remember you much. She says she doesn't really remember you. And it's like, oh, okay, makes sense, right? At that point, I'm not even thinking about the stupid thing I did as a kid. I don't remember that. But I understand there's no way she can remember me. It's just like it was a short time period. We were there maybe together for 2-3 months, and and that's that. So a few months, maybe 4 months or so. And so I'm sure that it made sense. It's like, okay, and I know she's telling the truth, right? And now they're like, no, you know why he was saying that? It's because he had respect for your father, and your father passed. And they come out with some stories. It's like, no, for the respect of your father, he didn't say anything because he know you're delusional trash. This is the kind of storylines they create. You think this is not the kind of person who would do anything out of respect? And I don't mean to insult him, but let's just say that's not his ways. But to come up with stories like that, to try to delude themselves because they want to make themselves believe that they're doing it to eventually damage her, when they're in a program that actually damage and torture children. And now that I hear making the story about the father, because the father talked to me and let me know that, oh no, the younger, she doesn't remember you. And that no, he was saying that because, and that no, but what would you think he said that? Because she doesn't remember me. The way they come up with the stories is like a creation of reality. But the reality is what they try to escape from. Because the reality, there's testimonials of it. Of what they do to children. How they torture them and how they damage them physically and mentally and psychologically. Well, this said, no, he did this like that because, out of respect of your father, he didn't want to bring that up. And it's like, then I see him at the nightclub with some very young adult who's probably the age of his son. These people live a la-la land of they're delusional. And you hear this trust like, we're going to avenge. Try to make it sound like they avenge what you did in middle school. When they're in the program, I hear torturing kids. Being cruel to infants. These people working for entities where pedophilia is such an issue that they're being ranked top tier. Top tier. What do you think this, there was a whole bill, I don't know if I mentioned, there was a whole bill called S1413. Look it up. Look, US bill S1413. Nastiness. Try to stop this DOD child porn issue. look at the 2018 classmates of ranking in regard of coming from online child protective services, ranking network with the most shared child porn peer to peer. DOD top ranks, ranking DOD as the top pedophilia central. That was in 2018, not too long ago. And you hear this trash, no, this is the Iraq. They just sold this to pedophiles. And the reason why they did this is because what they can do to people, it feels like imagine you get the opportunity to do so much to somebody. You are part of this huge network. You are in the known. You are involved with very powerful entities that can do so much. They can watch me die. They can they can do these things to me. They can make me experience things that I would not experience naturally. They can basically control me. These people who, some of them, you look at them, it's like they don't have much control in their own life. They don't, they have no, some of them is you look at them, it's you don't, I know you can break down from depression in 2.5 seconds, but this gives you this empowerment. It's not, I'm sure it's not only about financial incentives, but because the incentives can be just the ability to be able to do so much to somebody. And for that, what you have to do is to be involved in a program that does terrible things to babies, women, and you are working for entities that you're gonna know have problem with pedophilia. Better accept that. You basically sold your soul to pedophiles. Better understand that. And you know the tactics are going to be pedophilia centric because you heard the testimonials of those women that you're protecting. I just woke up from a dream that they manipulate. They do these dream manipulations. It's called dream modulations. They use these manipulated dreams to kind of condition you. Sometimes they even they make you experience these dreams, and then they try to make you feel guilty for the experience that they make you experience. It is nasty. It was some weird dream that ended up things change at the last minute, and they start involving children. They like to do that all the time, preteen. And kind of train your brain to look at them. They are conditioning your brain to see kids in these disgusting pedophilia ways. Now, I don't care. The funny thing is oh, we don't care about you. It's but you care about you. Because that doesn't reflect on me. I know that is you guys doing this thing to me. But you're saying that's real right now, living life where your job is to make an adult person think about children in a sexual way. That's what you are living life for right now. That's the dedication you have right now. That's your life. That's you right now. I know I'm like you. I know it's not me. But you have to involve. You are involving. That's your job right now. If you cared about you, you'll be like, shit, I don't want this. That makes me look bad. Me now look like a fucking pedophile. What kind of job am I in where I'm making men and women think about kids in sexual way? They have twisted their own brain into oh no, that's you now. It's you. It's I don't care about you. It's I don't know. I don't give a shit if you care about me. I wouldn't want. Let's just say I hated somebody so much. I would not be okay, at night we're going to make him dream about kids in a sexual way. And then we're going to stimulate him toward children. And then when he sees a child, we're going to stimulate his libido. Ew! So it's well, it actually looks like we are, it's us pedos, like that. But in their minds, no, we dared. We dared to make you feel sexual stimulation to babies. We're so daring. Look how fierce we are. It's so retarded and disgusting. These tactics are the common tactics they use to break down people, to depattern people. So, but with them, they try to use this kind of retardation of mentality. And it's not going well. Now, what's going to happen to me is going to be disgusting. I understand that. Listen to how, like, validated I get without them on the. They tell me how they're going to frame me, right? Think we're going to avenge you. We're going to avenge for what you've done. We're going to frame you. Guess what? Guess how? They say they're going to implant child porn. You understand that they've been ranked as a network, the DoD network, as being top tier in regard of child porn being circulating in those network. That means that they have so much child porn moving around this network. And this trash are saying that they're going to implant the child porn, which I'm sure they have a lot of access to it since they are being ranked as top tier. They will implant child porn on my computer while working for an entity and entities where child porn is running rapid. I have no doubt that the DoD is involved in this. I have no doubt that DARPA, matter of fact, if you go on DARPA website, everything that you experience, you can hear, like, it's you know, DARPA is working on these memory things, which they say, well, we're going to participate in this. And they have this language on the website where they're like, we know we've been working with neurotechnology. We have legacy of expertise in this kind of field, and we're working with memories, and they're trying to make it seem, mind you, DARPA is a entity of the Department of Defense. They specialize in weaponry and high technology weaponry. And for this purpose, like, no, for this memory thing, we're doing it for the veterans that, you think that Department of Defense agencies like DARPA that specialize in weaponized technology will not utilize this kind of technology as a weapon when their number one job is to work on defense technology, on weaponaries, utilizing technology. Everything is there. So DARPA technology is being implemented. This trash are just contracted by these entities. They're not DARPA, but they are employed by the Department of Defense in some fashion or another. This program is definitely utilizing defense technology. And defense technology is not just randomly, especially this level of sophistication. It's coming from like some neighbors with their rogue money. Trash. It's obvious that they're running a program. There's a whole system, and the program is ran by DoD entity. These people, like I said, there's obviously people who don't care too much, people who don't really, just not only about the money, but you better believe there's a lot of money moving around. The kind of money that the DoD can provide. So DoD has very strong involvement in this. And perhaps out of all the entities you can imagine being involved in this, Department of Defense is 125% involved in this. Now, for sure, the CIA is also involved in this because these people started this whole mind control programs back in the freaking 50s when they were trying to using psychology, drugs and other tactics before this technology was available to them to manipulate the mind of people to make them do things that they themselves will not do. In the 50s, and they were very successful in so much things even before the accessibility of the level of the technology they have today. Now imagine their expertise with DoD financial resources and the DARPA technology. What can they do? My point is, they know what they've done to the most vulnerable, and the entities running this program have issues with pedophilia as they utilize pedophilia as a tool, as a weaponized tool to break people down, to make them change who they are, and to break them down, de-pattern them so they can repattern them in different fashion. And then for me, the PSYOP, there's been a lot of females. Matter of fact, there's a lot of females. I wish I had my phone. A lot of females in mob targeting to try to present themselves as this is like a fierce rogue group of femme fatale avenging for what I've done as a child, or even for this woman or that. Like, these people involved in the program like that. Let me show you how nasty it gets. I have a few seconds left here, so let me listen to this.
And I was told I was going to be shot in the face, and it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, he should have shot in the face. You know, it sounded like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Well, he shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voices Skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What?
There's a bunch of females involved in torturing women. As I was saying that, I hear people trying to disorient me. Because you hear them. This target individual who's a woman clearly said there's a lot of females interacting with me via V2K. These perps next door, they tell me how they're going to frame me, which include child porn, or tell me that they're going to make it sound like I did something to some kid here. Matter of fact, I hear some childlike person like, you raped me, to stop me from listening to what they do to women as females. They're nasty. Do you want to hear what they do to kids? Listen to how this woman literally say how her and her young child have been damaged psychologically and physically.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological
and physical damage.
And I won't go into the details of that.
I bet you that the details consist of sexual torture. They do these nasty things. Listen to this woman who say how they vilify her.
Military medical research. I too believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Marino.
You heard that, utilizing defense technology, as in Department Defense Technology.
He basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured.
I've been vilified. I've been isolated. I've been tortured. This is the shit that say they're gonna avenge. Do you want to hear what they do to kids? I have plenty of that. This nasty lowlife are trash. And working for entities, listen to how nasty it gets with the these DoD agencies.
Recently endorsed and helped pass key legislation in Congress, the End National Defense and Network Abuse Act. The provision, authored by Senator Grain Schatz, DHI, and co-sponsored by Senator Lisa Murkowski RAK, is included in the annual National Defense Authorization Act and is expected to be signed into law. The End Network Abuse Act would assist the Pentagon in stopping the Department of Defense's DoD illegal use of the government network to view, possess, trade, and even produce child pornography.
It goes on. You can hear the things that's going on in the CIA. This lowlife sold their soul to these entities, and now want me to accept manipulation that I know I'm being forced to experience. And they're like, "Nah, well, we're analyzing." Like, I'm not even trying to mock the way they sound, but it's like I know they want to sound like this because they want me to be like, "No, see, when your brain analyzing." And then when it's just too stupid, they're like, "No, what we do is like, we matched. You felt like this was something else. It matches with something you felt before. So, so like they make me feel something, but this something matches with something you felt before." That's the kind of stuff they do. And they have different lingo. I've made videos about all the different ways they try to. They are nasty. So to all my target individuals, do not identify, do not subscribe. And whatever's going to happen to me, I just want to say thank you, God, for this moment I have seen things for what they are. When this horrible pain and torment I go through, just give me strength. Please.